And you're still listening to CITR Radio, FM 102, Cable 102, Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, and the Nardwuar to Human Serviette radio show. And you just heard right there, White Cowbell, Oklahoma, and their tune Monster Railroad. And they are playing tonight at the Backstage Lounge on Granville Island, and are also playing tomorrow night at the Backstage Lounge on Granville Island. And before that, I think you also heard a little bit of Roy C. with some Shotgun Wedding. You heard a bit more White Cowbell, Oklahoma. You actually heard the song Put the South in Your Mouth. And before that, and a caller phoned in wondering about this, you heard Xavier, an audio fantasy by Xavier Hollanday, the Happy Hooker. It's her record. And it's actually on Phonodisc out of, actually it's a GRT, well actually it's Canadian issue anyways, and the Canadian content comes in on this record with the last track, the bar scene that we played that featured Ronnie the Hawk Hawkins, and now we know why he's called the Hawk, and Xavier Hollanday, and others as well in the bar scene, and that was played in honor of White Cowbell, Oklahoma, who actually used Ronnie the Hawk Hawkins in one of their brand new videos. And of course they're playing tonight at the Backstage Lounge and tomorrow night at the Backstage Lounge on Granville Island. But joining me right now is, well, who are you? Are you there, caller?
Yes, I'm here. My name is Nicholas.
Who are you, Nick? Who are you?
I'm a rock and roll guy from the Unicorns.
You are Nick from the Unicorns.
Yep.
Welcome to Vancouver, British. Well, you're not quite in Vancouver, British Columbia. You're supposed to be in Vancouver, British Columbia. Aren't you supposed to be in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada right now, you Mr. Unicorny?
Yeah, we're just on the road. We're on the side of the road in a weird little log cabin.
What are you supposed to do an in-store though, like right now at Red Cat Records?
Yeah, we wanted to, but we didn't realize that we weren't able to because of all this driving. We played in Edmonton last night, and we just we're heading west. We were east, and now we're trying to get back there.
So Nick, to your fans that wanted to see the Unicorns today at Red Cat, where can they catch you? Is there any other Unicorn action?
Yeah, there is, but it's really expensive, and I'm kind of sad about that. It's we're playing at the Commodore Ballroom and at the Croatian Cultural Center on the 17th and the 18th. Croatian Cultural on the 17th and Commodore on the 18th.
And that's with your friends, the Hi Hat Hits, right?
The hot hi-hat hits, yeah.
You call them the hi-hat hits with hot heat, the Unicorns, and also the Metric are on there. How did the Metric get on there?
I don't know. They're not invited, and then someone just put them on. I think it was a management decision.
But I think they're on for like an entire tour, aren't they?
I know. It was supposed to be us and Hot Heat, and then Metric shows up and totally killed the party.
Like, this was going to be pretty sweet, wasn't it? The Unicorns opening up for hot heat. I mean, this is the good life, isn't it, Nick?
Yeah, it's picking up steam.
And now you guys are scammed. Like, now aren't you basically, are you opening for the Metric? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, I guess so.
Are you going on first, then?
Yeah, it looks that way. So we're on at like 8:30 or something.
So you're on first, so people should come out early, then?
Yeah, people should come out early because we're the best of the three bands.
Now, who else is in the Unicorns, Nick? Maybe you could tell the people out there in Radio Land.
Well, my good friend from Campbell River, BC, where I'm also originally from, named Alden, is in the Unicorns. And this year we added a drummer, an amazing drummer, and he's right here with me, and his name is Jamie, and he's from Guelph, Ontario.
And did you originally have some other members too, and they quit the band, or what's the genesis of the Unicorns?
Well, in high school we played in bands. We opened for this really amazing band called the Evaporators. I don't know if you've heard of them, but they're from Vancouver, and that was just a fun high school band. But
what was your band called then? Was it like the Stanley Milgrim Project?
That's right. That's what it was called.
What was the background on that name, and why did you pick the Unicorns? Like, how dare you pick the Unicorns? Like, Flossie and the Unicorns. Flossie and the Unicorns. What is the history of?
I know. Well,
like, what is the history of unicorns in rock? That's, I guess, what I'm wondering. What is the history of unicorns in rock? What have you discovered? Like other unicorns.
It's penile. unicorns, but they're very majestic and they have horrible singing voices, and we're not sure if they're real. And yeah, Flossie and the Unicorns. I mean, that's just a project. I mean, Miss Pussycat, right? The puppet show thing. I like.
That's pretty cool. You know, you can't screw with Miss Pussycat. You know, you can screw with the metric, but I don't know about Miss Pussycat and Mr. Quintron, eh?
Yeah, the drum buddy. I wouldn't want to screw with them.
Now, have you had any connection with them? Because I think it would be neat to work with them. Like Flossie and the Unicorns would be a great sort of side project thing.
Yeah.
Have you had any communications, you know, threatening emails? Or are there other unicorns that you could fight against, possibly?
There's a unicorn. There's an Americana folk band from Germany called the Unicorns, and I think there's a lawsuit pending there. I'm not sure, but it would be cool to collaborate with Miss Pussycat because we like puppets. And we've done some puppet shows, or we did one puppet show, and it'd be good to do another one. And we know that she takes that seriously and is really good at it. So.
Well, speaking of unicorns, Nick of T Unicorns,
yes.
Could you please tell me the Corey Haim story? You once related it to me in email, but this is incredible. All the way from Campbell River, British Columbia, Canada, to Corey Haim. I mean, this is incredible, isn't it? This is incredible. Like a few years ago I saw you didn't even know who Corey Haim was. Well, I mean, of course you did. But the next thing you know, you are hiring Corey Haim, and there's actually a song about it on your CD as well. Like, you're really milking it.
Yeah, well, what happened was I was doing film in Montreal, and I had to have a film. I had to make a film for school, and I was kind of short on ideas. And I heard that Corey Haim was in Montreal, and in Toronto, but he had family in Montreal. So I opened the phone book and looked up Haim, and just made a random call just to see if I could track him down. And I got his uncle, and his uncle gave Corey Haim my number, and Corey Haim called me 5 minutes later, and basically we just had this kind of discussion about making a film, and I told his uncle that I was a filmmaker who met him at a party and made this deal with Corey Haim, and then I lost his number, and we were going to work on a project together, and so I kind of hoodwinked the Haim family, and I'm not some of my proudest moments, but I convinced Corey Haim to act in my student film, and I flew him into Toronto, and I had a benefit show in Montreal to raise money, and it was pretty exciting, but I ended up having to fire him.
Now, why was that?
He showed up to the shoot with a really weird contract, and I wasn't as aware of it as the others who were with me, my crew, but they said that the contract was very
like, what difference does it make if it's like this a student film, or did you think this might blow big?
Well, yeah, I thought like it could be one of those cult kind of things, at least a story on the Newswire, the AP something. But I just decided to do something, to come up with something crazy and then try and set out to do it, and I kind of did. But
now, was there a chance to be able to amend the contract? I mean, you've brought your idol, Corey Haim, all the way to, was it Montreal?
Yeah, I flew him in from Toronto.
Flew him in! You've got him there, like you've all set up. I mean, you're not really explaining this properly, Nick. Like, you've got lights, action, you're almost ready for camera, go, right? That's what's happened. Like, you're all set up, right?
Yeah, but it was my first year of film, so I wasn't really professional about it, and it wasn't as professional as it could have been, and I think that freaked him out a little bit, and he just wanted some money. I mean, he wanted more than that. He wanted to help me out. He was a pretty generous person for a minute, but he just wanted. In the end, he wanted more money than what was agreed upon and stuff. So.
Could have you changed the contract possibly? Like if you were quick thinking?
Yeah, if I was thinking, but I was just too excited.
But could have you filmed the negotiations with him for the contract and used that in the movie?
We filmed. We had a video camera filming when he came onto the location, which was in a restaurant, and we had a bit of an argument, and he started yelling at us and threatened to sue me, and we had all that on videotape. But his hired goon that was with him, his like thug friend, who wanted me to go out into the car to sign the contract and give him all the money, told us to hand over the videotape, or else they would use that in a court of law. And so we smashed the tape, which wasn't the wisest decision, because that could have been the movie right there.
That's happened to me a few times, hand over the tape, hand over the tape. That's why you should always have a backup tape. I never do, but maybe next time when you get Corey Feldman, you can have the backup tape. So what happened? What was the upshot of this whole thing? What happened to the movie? Was the movie totally thrown away? Or where can people see this?
I mean, it was a student film. It was always I don't think it ever set out to be much more than that, but I had recorded our conversations, our phone conversations, and so I just did a little puppet show and mimed the two of us talking, and then kind of stuck that in with like some craft work, and made a fairly decent movie. But is
that the puppet show that happens before unicorns shows? Like, have you integrated Corey Haim into a unicorn show?
No, we haven't. I wanted to invite him out to our show in Toronto.
What's he up to now? What's going on with Corey Haim right now? Have you had any sort of spottings of what he's been doing?
I think he's not as busy as the other Corey. The other Corey seems to be doing a lot of that reality TV with boxing and various celebrity fighting. But I think Corey's just laying low. He did some radio voiceovers, but I think he got fired because he showed up late or something.
And there's a song about him called Child Star on the brand new Unicorn CD.
Yeah.
And you, of course, are Nick of the Unicorns, playing next week at the Croatian Cultural Center and the Commodore Ballroom. Are you afraid that it might get back to him, the song Child Star? Or has anybody tried to contact him saying, hey, the Unicorns have a song about you?
I hope it gets back to him, but not in a negative way. I mean, it was an experience that affected me.
You're on Alien 8 recordings, and to me that seems kind of highbrow. Aren't they kind of like a highbrow Godspeed You Black Emperor type label?
Yeah, they are. They're working with Godspeed people and Japanese noise artists.
They seem, Merzbow, which is cool, but they don't really seem kind of too rock and roll friendly, although they do have some of the tricky woo guys on their label, don't they?
Yeah, they're starting to branch out, which is cool because they're not limiting themselves, or I don't know, they're not being defined by what they've put out in the past. They're willing to expand, and I think that's everyone should consider doing that.
Because I just saw you were on Alien 8, and I thought, oh my God, was it hard convincing those Godspeed You Black Emperor dudes to get on their label? It's their label, isn't it? Like the Godspeed You Black Emperor guys.
No, it's not quite their label, but they're all like friends and stuff.
Well, how did you end up on that? How did you convince Stan? Like, it's very highbrow. Again, this is very highbrow.
Well, they're based in Montreal, and I was in Montreal, and we put out a first CD like ourselves, and just kind of, I played it for one of the guys at the label. Actually, no, I sold it at the record store that he worked at, and he listened to it and liked it, and wanted to work with us, basically.
Wow, and now you're opening for the hi-hat hits. And you are Nick of the Unicorns.
I am.
Now, is there any similarities between Corey Haim and playing with Cat Power?
I think they're both unstable people. They're both beautiful people, and we should give them a chance. We never played with Cat Power. That's another thing. That was another prank I played. We snuck in to where she was supposed to be playing in Montreal and pretended we were on the bill, and we went backstage and ate from her craft table. And then we were asked to leave.
What made you do that?
We really wanted to open for Cat Power, and the local promoters were willing to have us open, but the manager of Cat Power didn't want any local opening bands, so
you just showed up anyways, hoping that he'd change his mind?
We showed up pretending that, like, acting confused that we thought we were opening, and with all our gear and stuff. It was fun, but we got in trouble.
So, Nick of the Unicorns, how did you go from Campbell River to Alien 8 recordings? What happened in between there? You went to film school? Are you the first band from, like, Campbell River to get your CD, like, distributed nationally? And I was going to say the first band from Campbell River to have a record out, but anybody can kind of put out a CD nowadays. Are you, like, the Campbell River rock band now?
I think Rob Brindamore has got us beat by a couple of years on that, but
Wow, does he have a CD?
I think he does.
Really?
No, but I wish he would hurry up with that.
Because I think it's great. Campbell River, you're putting Campbell River on the map.
Well, I hope so. Campbell River is a really pretty place. It's kind of doesn't have much to offer for the young people, so. But I hope I can put it on the map. Destroy it.
What other bands have come from Campbell River aside from Joey Cordless?
That's about it, I think. Hoseo.
The Hosehobe.
Hoseo. Remember Hoseo?
Yes, I do. Actually, have you guys played in Campbell River at all? Have the Unicorns played in Campbell River? Like, since you've had
once.
How did that go?
It was a disaster.
Why was that?
There's no life in Campbell River in the young people's veins. They prefer billiards and driving around and stuff.
What bands have passed through Campbell River? Like, you put on gigs and helped out lots of bands. What bands passed through Campbell River? And is that how you met Hi Hats?
No, I don't know how we met them. They met us in Victoria. I guess it's they're very community based, and they kind of keep their ear to the ground, and they heard about us and that. But what bands? My Widemouth Mason, the Headstones, 5440, Striper.
Striper did not play Campbell River.
I think. Oh no, not Striper, but Nazareth.
That's pretty close, I guess.
Yeah, pretty close. 3 Inches of Blood, the Evaporators.
The Unicorns.
Once, yeah.
So Hot Heat met you in Victoria? Like, you didn't know them at all? They just
No, we just met them when we played there a couple months ago. They came to our show, and they let us stay at their place, Steve and Paul, and they're super nice guys. And
what have you learned about them? What do you know? Have you done any gigs with them at all? Are you on the tour right now with Hot Heat?
No, we start in Victoria on tomorrow, so we don't know anything about them. We know that they're friendly young fellows who play a mean brand of popular rock and roll, and we're excited to be a part of it.
Now, how do you think people are going to take you guys, Nick of the Unicorns, playing with Hot Heat at the Commodore and Equation Cultural Center and all across the country with the Metric? How are they going to take you? How are the fans going to take you?
I don't know actually how they're going. They're usually pretty.
Because you have a bit of keyboards in your music, so that's cool. You got keyboards, right?
Yeah, we have keyboards, drum machine, electric drums, guitars, bass, and we rotate and stuff.
Because I wanted to read that quote from Exclaim magazine about the Pop Montreal Festival, where it said, the Unicorns battled bad sound and misfired jokes. What were the misfired jokes at the Pop Montreal Festival?
Said that in Exclaim?
Yeah, what were the misfired jokes? Do you remember telling bad jokes?
We usually only tell good jokes, so I don't know what that's about. I think we had a person off the side of the stage with a microphone pretending they were a sound man at that show, and they were yelling at us and telling us to get off the stage, and then this guy Wazzle jumped up on the stage.
Wazzle?
Yeah, you know Wazzle?
Yes, I know Wazzle.
He jumped up on the stage and told the sound man, who was actually just a friend of ours on the side of the stage with a microphone, to shut up and to stop harassing the Unicorns. So maybe that was a bad joke. I don't know. People have terrible senses of humor.
Wow, Wazzle fell for it. But anyways, Exclaim at the Montreal Pop Festival. The Unicorns battled bad sound and misfired jokes, including a bizarre haunted house performance piece involving a stage death and a zombie resurrection. Like, that sounds great!
Yeah, it was fun. Someone died. Someone was murdered.
So is that a bit of like an opera happening there? Is that a performance art? What's going on there?
Well, we just try and keep things interesting and keep people on their feet in as little as, like, in like the least contrived way as possible, but we're just trying to make the show a spectacle, and more than just going up and playing your music and saying thank you and that kind of thing.
Exclaim at the Montreal Pop Festival. The Unicorns battled bad sound and misfired jokes, including a bizarre haunted house performance piece involving a stage death and a zombie resurrection.
Whoa, I didn't see this. Who wrote that?
It's in Exclaim magazine. Go to exclaim.ca, type in the Unicorns, and it comes up. Okay. If they survived this show, survived this show, which to you I think went just fine. If they survived this show, their upcoming national tour opening for Hot Hot Heat should be no sweat.
That's beautiful.
So do you think that was a hard gig, the Exclaim Pop Montreal one?
No, it was fun.
So somebody writing this thing thinks that it was a rough gig, and if you survived it, you'll be able to survive Hot Hot Heat. So you're probably going to do just fine opening for Hot Hot Heat.
I think we will, if there's no robberies or murders, but you never know. That's the thing with our shows. You never know.
That sounds great that you planted a fake sound man. That is just awesome. Kind of the neat little extra gag there you unicornian type people are doing. And we're speaking here to the Unicorns, Nick of the Unicorns, who are opening for Hot Hot Heat and the Metric on, is it Tuesday and Wednesday? Croatian Cultural Center and the Commodore, or is that Monday and Tuesday?
Monday and Tuesday.
Monday and Tuesday. And get there early, at least 8:30 to go catch.
8 o'clock or 8:30.
8 or 8:30, at least on Monday for the all ages gig to go check the Unicorns. And speaking of extra sort of zest, what was this car wash gig that you guys did in Vancouver? I've seen pictures of that. It just seems totally wild. You just set up at a car wash? And which car wash in Vancouver? And did you just show up without telling them? And did they let you play, or what was the deal there?
Okay, well, I'll give it to you in 60 seconds. Firstly, I should say that I'm in Yak, BC, and I'm being scowled at by the head waitress. She wants me to get off the phone, but I'll explain really fast. The car wash, we were approached by CBC Radio 3 to do like a concert thing, and they wanted to do something different, and we wanted to do something different, so we decided to play in a car wash outside.
Vancouver car wash.
Yeah, I don't know. It was.
Did you just show up, or did they book it ahead of time?
We just had 2 days in advance, and I made up a little flyer, and we all just went around and passed it out to people.
Was it hard to convince the car wash people?
We didn't tell them. The cops showed up, but we didn't tell them.
So when you showed up and started playing, what were the car wash people doing? Were they washing cars, or didn't they tell you to get off their property? What was going on?
One person was washing a car, but I think we kind of tried to accommodate their space. Like, we had our own little stall where we were playing. But lots of people came. It was really exciting.
Well, I don't quite understand how you got away with it.
I don't either. We kind of have horseshoes lodged in strange places, and we get away with a lot of stuff.
You just went and went for it. You just went and went for it because you are the Unicorns. Well, thank you, Nick, for phoning into the Nardwuar, the Human Serviette radio show. Good luck with your gigs Monday and Tuesday, I think, opening for Hot Hot Heat and the Metric. Hope they go well as opening for Daniel Johnson and Les Savi Fav, right? Because you have good experience opening for those guys. Daniel Johnson, he never played Vancouver. Well, he canceled. He canceled Vancouver the last time. What did Vancouver miss? Anything? Just quickly, did they miss anything this time?
They missed a very gifted songwriter performing very delicate, well-written pop songs.
Something that Corey Haim would have enjoyed?
I don't know if Corey Haim would have enjoyed it. Metric would have enjoyed it, I'm sure.
And Nick, we're going to end right now with Child Star by the Unicorns, all about Corey Haim. Sorry about giving it away. Am I allowed to tell people that it's about Corey Haim? About Corey Haim by the Unicorns, and then maybe we're going to get into Tough Ghost.
Yeah, drop Tough Ghost.
The Tough Ghost, because that's a tough keyboard one, right?
Yeah.
That's going to appeal to the metric-loving audience, isn't it?
Exactly.
Well, thanks so much, Nick. Anything else you want to add to the people out there at all?
I guess I should give a shout-out to Country Kitchen in Yak, BC, because I'm one of their least favorite customers now. And I thank Nardwuar for giving us this opportunity, and hopefully we'll see you in Vancouver.
Well, thank you very much for phoning into the Nardwuar, the Human Serviette radio show. Nick of the Unicorns, keep on rocking in the free world, and do-do-do-do-do.
Do-do.